I promise this was the very best tripod they had in the shop in the super mall. When you buy it, you know, you go up the stairs and there is little vendors here and there, and there was nothing better than I could have bought at the time. But check this out. If I let go, it just sinks down. Something's broken. Another thing is broken. I already glued the arm and made it a little bit stronger by inserting some super glue, hot glue, some plates of plastic, but that didn't work. So I'm here in this corner because that's when I can charge. Seems my iPhone, which must be about 8 years old, lasts about 25 minutes now on videoing. So I'll need to live with that because it's too much of a pain with the Android phone to send the movies to the Apple laptop, blah blah blah. Okay, so let's move forward. There's a couple of things that are chiefly in my way, so I want to deal with them. Let's start with the cleanest jobs as they are. So the first thing is we're going to talk about the second grip. So I'm going to unplug these, and now we are moving. We are going for a dead battery, basically. So let me think how will you best see what I want you to see. Okay, not sliding down. Yes, okay. First of all, let's talk about these grips. And here's one reason why I love these. The brand is DMR. The product's called Death Grip, and it's originally been fostered by some dude, Brendan Fairclough. I'm not sure whether this is actually readable. Text is here. Yeah, lighting. I should buy a nice light, shouldn't I? If you turn this around, then you can. You're welcome. Don't you just love my filming, huh? DMR bikes with Brendan Fairclough. And I don't know when I bought the first ones. Let's say 5 years ago. And I've tried many different versions. I've tried the thick ones. I tried the soft ones. And I'm now here. And I had some with flanges here. What I tend to do now is I buy the thin ones. I buy the hard ones. And I buy the ones without the flanges because I'm usually using a trigger shifter. That's my preferred method of shifting. Okay, so I think these are about 15-17 pounds. Most of them I buy in Britain because the selection there is readily available. Yeah, sometimes I buy them in Germany if I can't find the color. So let's compare this to this El Cheapo copy. Now the first thing is you measure that somehow on top of the grid, and we're getting approximately 29 millimeters on this one, and if I do the same thing we're getting about 27.5. So it's about a millimeter, but you know, if you feel it, you just feel it. It just feels so much better. This one feels cheap and nasty. I don't know, this has some depth to it. I really can't explain it. Of course, the dimension here grows with this part, which I particularly love. This is for cushioning this area of your hand. And if you ride a lot, you will understand why that is important. Also, the next thing is, and I'm going to take advantage of that in a minute, you will witness what that is. This only needs one clamp because the inside structure of this grip is super durable. It goes to the very end. You can push this down, whereas you can try, and this one's just not as strong. So this becomes really soft on the outside, whereas this one doesn't. So the structure inside goes all the way till the end, and what you can do by doing so, you can not push it all the way in, meaning that your bars get slightly extended by the grip. I'm not going to do this by much. I made myself a little mark here, so I'm going to push it all the way to here. So I'm talking about a centimeter at the end, and that makes my bar left and right about, yes, how much is it? I drew a mark here at 115 millimeters, and that lets me extend my bar like this by about this much. That's actually like more than 18. So let's say it's 36 millimeter. My bar becomes longer. If your bar isn't quite long enough, the way you feel, then that's a good thing. That's a very good thing in my books. So I'm ready now to put this grip on here. If I remember correctly, the set screw here is of 3 millimeter diameter. Yes, it is. Then we have this really cool, fancy bust looking natural material to keep them in place so they don't get lost. Also like the fact that you don't need a silly cap, because that's the first thing that you lose. Look. You stick it in and then it falls out. Why? Why? I don't know. You tell me. Anyway, so I'm going to usually put them in a way where this is basically on the center of the bar. That's how I mount them. And I also put it from the forward position so that I can have easy access to it. Compared to the other side. Don't want to see my mark, so I just pushed it past the mark, and I make sure they look the same when the bike is horizontal. So let's turn it up a bit, actually a little bit further still. Almost there. I did it slightly above center, and then when you like put your fingers down, that's when you get the benefit, and when you rest the arm you don't have it disturbing you. So there's basically, as far as I'm concerned, there's 3 positions on this grip. There's this line part where it's very cushiony for this part of your hand. You have something rather slip proof, and if you do sweat you have these extra bars here for your fingers. So, or if you have wet hands because of raining and so on. So after playing with bicycles for the best part of my whole life, since I was like 4 years old, I remember my dad painting my first bicycle for me in the cellar. Thanks, Dad, for hooking me on something that is healthy. Let me double check. This is the best grip and I'll be used in my life. So it's worth every single penny. This is, when we do the tally on this bike, this is the single most expensive part that I added to this build, and it's worth every freaking penny. I think my tally is about $100 on this bike. So here we go. I think we can commit to this one as well. Pushed home. Is it still good? It's about in the middle, just above. Perfect. Final commitment. I should really have a torque wrench, but I'm relying on the torque wrench in my arm. So that is the cleanest job that I have to do. Both grips on. I talked about the grips. Love those grips. Let's fly. I love those handlebars. They look much better. And one of the things that I really like about them is that the part that becomes a little thicker to go inside the clamping area at 25.4 millimeters is only where the clamp sits. So that means this part and that part is parallel, is horizontal, is straight. It's not like a gradual moving up the way like on the other slightly more modern bar. Also, looking at from the top, I really like the fact that it's just going, so it's like 3 lines and not 75. And check out these grips. And maybe this is about the 3rd time that I'm bolting onto a bike. And I think they're going to stay here for a while. So we also, I think I can put this in the right place now. Doesn't really want to go any further. Alright, so that is the right place then. I don't want it to rest. I put the bike upside down. I don't want it to rest on the bell, so I can fiddle with the gears and whatnot, so think about it. We'll sit here. Yeah, safe. It's touching the brake lever. It's okay. We'll live with it like that. Okay, so let's go over to the second cleanest job, which I prepared over there. And you probably ask yourself, how is he going to add the graphics of that SPRITE can to the bike frame? I've done stuff like that before. You need to be brave and commit. So first of all, I need to have an access hole so I can continue to cut this with a pair of scissors. It's very difficult not to damage the can in the process. At least I haven't figured that out yet. So you need to invest your scissors. They're not taken very nicely to it. Once you get more leverage, it becomes a bit easier. I want as much of this as I can get. It's really not very easy to not damage this. Am I on the picture? Let's see whether you would come up and stay up. Okay. If you know of a better way, I'm happy to hear. Maybe the scissors are the problem. Maybe that's better. I have plenty of these, and this one is particularly mangled, so nope, it's not doing it any easier. Cut the tension out of here. Okay, that looks like a lot of butchering, but it seems to make less damage on what matters. Anyway, as you know, theoretically this is free, other than your effort. So we can do this as many times as we need in order to get a better result without too much damage of the actual aluminium piece that we want. And so, definitely think this tool is, nope, that was not good. Yeah. Okay, here's what goes. Lot of damage, but let's just continue, okay? Maybe need to find the correct opposite. I'm just gonna do it like that now. Okay, first part. I've seen people making wheel rims out of that, so there must be a better way to get this out. Maybe I should have looked on YouTube. Right, this is the tool. That's the way to do it, at least on the top. Right. Let's see if we can move forward in the other direction as well. Maybe like that. Okay, alright, that works. That was easy. Okay, now I have a lot of little things laying about. Don't like that. I caught this one. Three, 4, 5, 6. 7, that's plenty. 8, 8, 9. Good. That's some of them. I think we're okay about this tool here. Mr. DIY. Not very good. Lost its nose. But that might have been me. So let me show you the other one. Chinese for sure. XAI. URO something. Sorry, this is not very clever because it's not bright enough. Juran. Xuran. There you go. This one's better. Right. Let's go back to the subject on hand. Basically, what I'm going to do is put this on the very top, so that's what you see from the top. So that means diametrically opposite, I need to find exactly where that is, and then I'll cut a straight line through here. I will employ some tape to do some guidance. Need to take the gloves off. They are not beneficial, and obviously not a dirty job. I'm assuming that what I'm doing here is not going to be the final can because it's too mangled. I didn't do a good job so far, but let's just go all the way through this test, and then we know. So let's just say this was yeah. I want to basically eyeball the middle of this. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, well, that's good enough. So, right. And then we go to the opposite side. There. Perfect. And we actually find a line here. Perfectly perfect. That's very nice. That will work. Thank you and goodbye. Now I'm going to make sure that I actually have a straight line. So that means I do not need this. Yeah, I'm going to synchronize myself with this one little line that is in the design. Could you call it design, the graphics? Yeah. And I'm going to cut nice and straight along this tape now. You need to commit and just go for it. Hooking up. He who hesitates loses. All right, that should do it. Not bad. Not bad. Now it's a little loose, I can have better access. I'm going to cut along here. I'm going to cut everything off that is silver, and please excuse me, I am needing the light here. Now make no mistake, this is dangerous. You will hurt yourself when you do that. Very easy. This is a bit of a problem because this chamfer here is stabilizing this shape, so it's more difficult to cut. So I'm going to go do this twice, because the less of this chamfer that is in place, the easier it will be for me to cut, and the less jaggedy edges I have on here. So I'm going to continue to chooch away. Basically I have a nice guidance of green and silver, so I'm going to cut away all the silver, and here I'm going to cut through this radius here. The radius makes a very nice highlight. The closer we get to the final piece, the less dangerous this thing is. I am still leaving myself some margin of error, so I can cut this a couple of times, and the closer I get to the final piece, the less this fights me. Maybe I can go from the inside. You should also wear eye protection. Don't do as I do. Do as I say. Yeah, make sure this is not your kitchen where you do that, because there's lots of tiny little aluminium shavings in the making, and they're not very healthy for you if you eat that. Yeah. All right. I think I made a nice dog's dinner already. So call that testing. Sorry. Yeah, I told you these aluminium shavings are dangerous. They make you cough. Maybe this is not for children here. I'm gonna make this not for children. Children, if you're watching anyway, don't do this. It's very hard. And it's very sharp. Look at this. It's hard to do.